All right, so now you've seen the use of the language COBOL. Let's talk about the hardware and what it looks like to do it on real hardware. IBM has made a server available, or I think it's IBM. It's a public IBM server. This has been around for like 20 years. This is a free public server you can make an account on and practice using a mainframe. Just sign up here to make an account, and then you have to connect. But to connect, you need an EBC-DIC telnet client, and those are not thick on the ground. I had one that worked on Linux, but it doesn't work on the modern version of Linux. However, there's a Windows client you can get from SourceForge, at least right now. Hopefully you're not going to take this down. You can download a Windows client and install it. And when you do, it works. On Windows 10 here, I was very pleased. So it gives you a TN5250 emulating a terminal from, I think, 20 years ago or more. And you just have to tell it what host to connect to, and that is pub400.com. And now you have the glorious display. This is the way computers used to look. They all used to look like this. If you're as old as me, they'll bring back memories of the 70s and 80s. No graphics, no mouse, and you do everything with the keyboard and the tab key. And now you got to put in your username and passwords. This will be the account you created when you logged in on the Pub400 website, and use tab to move to the next field and put in your password. And when you've logged in, you do everything by choosing off these menus with numbers. And then each menu leads to a sub-menu. And so you can do files, libraries, and folders with a 4. And then libraries with a 2. And then work with libraries with a 1. And then press enter to see your libraries. And you will see you have your own library folder. Your current library folder is here, and mine is Sambound1. I guess it's your username +1, or at least it was for me. And so in this incredibly awkward environment, you can do everything controlling the mainframe. And I'm not going to keep doing it live because it is very painful. But you can go through here and see, there's a thing here explaining how you use the function keys to navigate. And so you can go in here, find the name of your library, and then you can create a source file. Files work with files. Go into your library, and in your library, you can create a file. And you create a file called hello in RPG. RPG is a mainframe programming language that is sort of the main language you use to control everything on the server, sort of like Bash on Linux. So you need to learn RPG to go along with your COBOL, at least a little bit. And so you can create a physical file called hello.rpg. And then you can edit the file and now edit a source file. And now you can finally type in source data in this weird looking thing. You can enter lines one at a time. Type I4 to insert 4 new lines. Now you can type them in, and this is what it looks like. / free display, hello from RPG, star in LR equals on, end free. That is RPG, hello world. And once you put it in there, then you have to press enter to save it. And then you go in programming development manager, work with members, and then use PDM, which is program something manager. And then you can compile it, which was option 14 to compile your file. And then you can run your file, where you call it, press enter, and it gives you program messages, a whole bunch of every change you made in it, eventually ending with display hello from RPG. That is hello world in RPG. So you did all that, and then you can use COBOL. So you go work with files and create another file, hello.cobol, and then edit the file, and then insert 6 lines, And now you can put in a hello world program in COBOL by typing in these 6 lines, and you can compile it and run it and end up with the same kind of story, hello from COBOL. So anyway, it is possible to control the box this way. It's just very, very painful. And of course, this is not how most people do it these days. What they do is they use this thing called IBM Rational Developer. And this thing gives you a more modern Windows interface, but it costs $800 or $900. However, there is a trial account. So you have to make an IBM account and then download the thing. It's Java-based software that runs on Windows, Rational Developer, web install. And after you install that thing and go through all the steps of installing it, you now get a Remote System Explorer. And you can connect again to the pub400.com host and connect, enter your username and password, and then you are connected. This is the objects I can see on my remote system, including the libraries I have the right to use, like the library with my name on it that I showed you before. So you can now enter a new source physical file and have a COBOL file. And now you can, instead of having to type it all in, you can paste it in here in a somewhat friendlier environment. And this will then, you can compile it by right-clicking it and compiling it. So that's friendlier than the previous process. Right-click compile from here. And then you run it here at the command line. You just type in call, and the program will run here. And somewhere will be the output. Cause the program has been compiled. Okay. Call. Oh, there it is. Hello from RATD. That was it. There's the program running. So it's a little bit prettier. And that is closer to the way you really control a mainframe these days. And if this all seems insane and difficult and awkward, that is the price you pay for using mainframes. But mainframes are so important. They save so much money for people that have a lot of processing to do that they still exist. And these skills are in somewhat of demand. So that's it.